of his other questions, but we're good. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. Oh.
Go ahead.
We have another caller. We have Anne from Mare Island. Good morning, Anne. How are you?
Good morning. Good. I'm struggling with my plum tree. From what I read in the books, it says if the plum tree's stems start sapping out, it might be a disease. And in the olden days, the Oriental gardeners would cut off the bark and then stimulate new growth. So I want to ask your host, is that the correct remedy, or he has a better method? Because my other plum tree died from leaking out sap. So any tips?
Palms aren't my strong point, but it depends. You have to. What kind of palm is it?
It's a plum tree.
Plum. Okay, plum.
Yeah, it's got a lot of sap.
Sap coming out, that's possibly gummosis, and that can happen from several causes. It can be from watering a lot and then going dry, and watering a lot, that cycle, they don't like that. They want steady watering or steady on the dry side. It could be a sign of a bacteria or disease in the plant. I need to know a little bit more about your soil and how you take care of it, the culture you do it, and if it's in sun or shade.
Okay, so let me describe. Once I dug the sap hole out, I noticed it burrowed, and a few times I saw a little bug come out of it. So
are they white, like little grub things?
No, an actual tiny like beetle kind of thing.
Okay.
You hear something like that?
Well, that's usually what they're. If you have grub, usually it's on peaches, sometimes on apricots, but plums are related. They're close relatives of those. So it could be you have boring beetles in the ground. You'd have to treat that. So are they getting in the bark or in the bark of the roots of the plant?
It's like, you know how the branch has little avenues where it branches, it divides? It gets into those little elbows, and then it starts sapping. And then I read some books, and I remember the happy gardener said sometimes you need to cut it out. So
you can, yeah. So I would bring a piece in a bag, plastic bag, a steel plastic bag, to a local nursery, and they can give you a specific insecticide for that. But it sounds like you probably have borers of some kind. I don't see the plant, so I can't tell you for sure, but that would be my recommendation at this point. So a local nursery, and you can get products to treat your plant there.
So they will destroy a tree, an entire branch, right?
They can. It depends on the infestation, how much and how much damage there is, how much bugs you have and how much damage. So recommendation of cutting the piece off that's infected or with the symptoms, that's usually a good idea, but you may not have to depending on what bug it is and how much of the tree is affected.
And so do you think in wintertime the bug will be less damage to the tree, or?
Well, they're still there, but they may be dormant. So they start getting active when it's toward the end of winter into spring, and then during the summer season, summer and fall. So the best thing to do is take pictures and to bring an infected piece sample in a sealed bag to one of your local nurseries, and they can recommend products for you.
Yeah, there are some Captain Jack. There are some products on
things
that.
like that. Yeah, there's several products that are available, but it depends if you want to go organic or you want to go regular chemical. So it depends on what you want. So.
Well, they said after you cut it out, then you put some malthion or diatomaceous soil and then wrap the sore. So I wrapped it so my tree looks like the mummy tree was bandaged.
I would tend to not put diatomaceous earth or malthion on. It's You can do it, but I would go to the nursery because they will see what exactly you have going on, and a knowledgeable nursery person will be able to direct you better than what I can. I have your words, but I have no picture and description of the physical piece, so they would give you a more specific response.
So this is an okay time to cut. This is an okay time to cut the palm tree in wintertime, and then bring it over to the nursery. It won't hurt the.
Yeah, just a small piece. You want to show them the piece that's got the symptoms on it, so you don't need to bring a giant branch. Just a little, like 6-8 piece of wood. That's it. And if you find the bugs, then bring the bugs or the beetle. Make sure they're all sealed in a sealed container, like a sealed jar or a plastic bag with a seal on it. So you don't want to bring the problem around. And then as soon as they figure out what it is, then you destroy that, throw it in the garbage, or, burn it, anything like that.
Let's move on to Susie from El Cerrito. She has some good questions too. Hi, Susie. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Nice to talk with you again. Hi. About pruning, I was told this time of year for perennials, I have this streptophilin demisoni, however you pronounce it, marmalade bush. I'm always afraid to cut it at this time of year because I don't want to lose parts of it by freezing, but it's too big. Is it okay to cut now, and how much can I cut it?
What kind of tree?
You know that bush?
What bush is it?
Marmalade bush, they call it. Streptophilin demisoni. Little orange flowers.
Okay, so if it's a semi-tender plant, then you want to cut just the top part of it to get access around the plant, or provide your access to make it less large, and then you cut it back harder in the spring.
Okay, spring.
Right.
Okay, thank you. And another question.
Cut it back now. Cut it back a little bit now.
Okay. And then the other, you mentioned wisterias. We used to have this really big one, beautiful, but we remodeled and pushed the house out, and the builders cut the whole thing down. So now I have wisteria growing here and there and everywhere. Perhaps it was the root of the plant that was happy and is wanting to go everywhere. What would you suggest I do? I don't mind keeping some of it, but not so many.
I would keep the ones that you want. I don't know if wisterias are propagated in two ways. It can be by vegetative propagation, which is layers or cutting. That means every part of the plant is the variety you had. And they can also be propagated by grafting, which